Students, in class 10 electricity part 5 we are starting with Ohm's law. So German physicist George Simon Ohm gave the relationship between electric current and potential difference. So according to him, the statement of Ohm is written as: at constant temperature, the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across the conductor. Once again, I am telling you, at constant temperature, the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across the conductor. Let us suppose that I current is flowing in the conductor and V be the potential difference across the conductor. Then according to the statement, we can write I varies as V, or V varies as I, or simply we can write V equal to Ri, where R is a constant called resistance of the conductor. So from the equation written above, V equal to Ri, we can write I equal to V by R. So for a given potential difference, I varies as 1 by R. So for a given potential difference, current is inversely proportional to resistance. The higher the resistance, the lower will be the current. If the resistance is doubled, current is halved. Good conductors have low resistance while insulators have high resistance. So this is the Ohm's law. You can see once again. Okay. Now try to know the unit of resistance. What is the unit of resistance? Dear students, we know that R equal to V by I, or volt by ampere. The unit volt per ampere is known as ohm, and its symbol is written here. In this way we can represent the unit of resistance. So what is the definition of 1 ohm? Now you have to define 1 ohm. So let us suppose that R equal to V by I, V equal to 1 volt and I equal to 1 ampere. Then the ratio gives us 1 ohm. So if potential difference across the conductor is 1 volt and current flowing through it is 1 ampere, then resistance of the conductor is said to be 1 ohm. Okay? So you can simply define 1 ohm by writing the equation in this way, and you just convert this ratio like 1 volt and 1 ampere. Convert this ratio into your statement, you will get the definition of 1 ohm. Now how will you verify the Ohm's law? You have to verify the Ohm's law. So try to. So look at the figure. This is the schematic diagram to verify the Ohm's law. Here we have ammeter, cells, switch and rheostat, a resistor. All are connected in series, and a voltmeter is connected in parallel with the resistor. You can see this voltmeter is connected in parallel with the resistor. It will measure the potential difference across the resistor. So what to do? To verify Ohm's law, the ammeter gives the current and voltmeter gives the potential difference across the resistor. We take 5 to 6 observation by changing the position of the rheostat. Okay, we use rheostat to change the current flowing through the circuit. We take few sets of readings by changing the current flowing through the circuit with the help of rheostat. Look at this figure. When we slide this and changes its position, we get the different value of current. For different value of current, we get different value of potential difference. So we take 5 to 6 observations by changing the position of rheostat, and we write the values in the table given here. Look at the table. Meter reading will be in ampere. So I1, I2, I3, I4, I5, these are the observations, and the corresponding values of potential difference V1, V2, V3, V4 and V5 are given. And finally we have to find the ratio V by I that will give you the resistance. So in all the 5 to 6 cases you will find the resistance is constant. It is approximately constant, or we can say that the resistance of the conductor is constant. To find the resistance of the conductor, we take the mean of all the 5 observations. Okay, that will give the resistance of the conductor. So now after taking 5 observations for I and 5 observations for V, we can easily draw VI graph. Okay, along x-axis we take current, along y-axis we take potential difference, and we plot all the values I1, I2, I3, I5 along x-axis and V1, V2, V3 along y-axis. Then we will get 5 or 6 dots. So joining all the dots we get a straight line. This proves the Ohm's law. The value of resistance will be constant. This gives the, or this proves the Ohm's law. So one question I would like to ask to all of you: how will you find the resistance using VI graph? Okay, in this graph you can see, if we take the slope of VI graph, then slope gives the ratio of V by I, which is R. So by calculating the slope of VI graph, we can easily find the resistance of the conductor. So in second figure, the VI graph for two conductors A and B are given. Now you have to identify which one has greater resistance. So in this figure you can utilize the concept of slope. Slope of A is greater than slope of B. That is why resistance of A is greater than resistance of B. Now another topic we are going to discuss right now. What are the factors on which resistance depends? Okay. So the number one, resistance depends on the material. Look at the figure very carefully. A cell, an ammeter and a wire AB and a switch are connected in this way. Now we have to discuss about the dependence of resistance on the material. Okay. So to discuss it, we are going to take a wire of given length and cross sectional area. Resistance of wire of given length and cross sectional area depends on the material of the wire. So in place of wire AB, look at here, in place of wire AB we use different wires of same length, same thickness and same area of cross section. They draw different currents when the same potential difference is applied. Understood? So in place of AB, what do? We use different wires of same length, same thickness and same area of cross section. The only thing is that we are using materials of wires of different materials. Okay, so in this way we see the resistance depends on the material, because the materials draw different current when same potential difference is applied. Number 2, resistance depends on area of cross section. So in the above experiment, we use wires of same material, same length, but of different cross sectional area. We find that thicker the wire, okay, when the wire is thicker, greater the current. So the thicker wires have lesser resistance than thinner wires. So resistance is inversely proportional to area of cross section, and R varies as 1 by A. So what we have done in this case, we have to show that resistance depends on the area of cross section. So in this case, we can use this figure. In place of AB, we can use wires of same material, of same length, but different cross sectional area. Then we find that thicker the wire, greater the current. So thicker wires have lesser resistance, thinner wires than thinner wires. So resistance is inversely proportional to area of cross section. R varies as 1 by A, where A is the area of cross section of the wire. Number 3, resistance depends on length. Okay, we take wires of same materials and same thickness but of different lengths. We find the resistance V by I of the first wire and then compare it with that of others. We find that when length is doubled, the resistance is doubled. When length is tripled, resistance also increases to 3 times. Thus resistance is directly proportional to the length, and R varies as L. Okay, resistance depends on temperature. Resistance increases with increase in temperature. So these are the factors on which resistance of a conductor depends. Let us have a look at the board. Resistance depends on the material. Resistance depends on area of cross section. Resistance depends on length, and resistance depends on temperature. So from 1 and 2, equation 1 and 2, look at here. When we combine these two equations, we get R varies as L by A, or R equal to rho L by A, where rho is a constant for a given material. It is called resistivity of the material. Its unit is ohm meter. Resistivity depends on temperature. For metals and alloys of metal, the resistivity increases with rise in temperature. Always keep in your mind. Resistivity depends on temperature. For the metals and alloys of metals, the resistivity increases with rise in temperature. So we can now define the resistivity also. When L equal to 1 meter and A equal to 1 meter square, then we get R equal to rho, or rho equal to R. So resistivity is numerically equal to resistance of the conductor having unit length and unit area of cross section. Resistivity is numerically equal to resistance of the conductor having unit length and unit area of cross section. Unit length means 1 meter and unit area of cross section means 1 meter square. Now coming to learn the series and parallel connection of resistors. Okay. A conducting material, that is a wire of a particular resistance, okay, used in a circuit is called a resistor. So in series connection we have connect two resistors R1 and R2. So I have connected in this way. You go through this circuit diagram. R1 and R2 are connected with a cell and a switch. So the cell delivers current I in the circuit, in this circuit, and the same current flows through R1 and R2. So current through both the resistors are same, but potential difference is not same. So let us suppose that potential difference across R1 be V1 and potential difference across R2 be V2. So the total potential difference V is divided into two parts, that is V1 and V2. So we can write V equal to V1 plus V2 and V is replaced by V equal to I into R, V equal to I into R, and V1 equal to IR1, V2 equal to IR2. Now final result we are getting R equal to R1 plus R2. So in series connection the equivalent resistance increases. In parallel connection you can see here, in parallel connection you can see all the three resistors R1, R2 and R3 are connected in this way, and the potential difference across each resistor will be same, but the current will not be same. That can be tested by fixing a ammeter in branch R1. So whenever we fix ammeter in branch R1, we see, then R2, then R3, we see current in all the three branches of R1, R2 and R3 are different. So in parallel connection the current through the resistors are different, but potential difference remains the same. So we can write I equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3, or I is replaced by V by R according to Ohm's law, and I1 is replaced by V by R1 plus V by R2 plus V by R3, and 1 by R equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Suppose we have two resistors in parallel, then equivalent resistance is given by 1 by R equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2, or R1 plus R2 by R1 R2. So the final equivalent resistance R equivalent is given by R1 R2 by R1 plus R2.